We touched on Will Smith, but, you're a stand-up comedian. You're a guy who's devoted your life toward this profession. And I know there have been many...
Terrible idea. Yes.
But there have been a lot of guys expressing some concern about sort of the precedent this sets. Obviously, half the job when you're up there is to offend. I mean, it's not to, stroke and please. So, what did you make of it?
Yeah, I do worry a little bit about... I don't think I guess I am a little controversial, but I definitely don't try to do things that hurt people's feelings. I just don't think it's that funny for me. I don't think I do it in a good way, like roasting people. So I don't really do it. So I'm not too concerned about myself. But I do think when you see something like that, it opens the door to a possibility. It's almost like when Columbine happened, and then people are like, oh, you can go in your school and just shoot a bunch of people. And then they started to happen. It might open up, if someone insults someone in a comedy club and they're really upset, that image will run through their head as a possibility. It's just that I'm a little concerned about, but
it's true. And I hadn't thought about that. I bet these comedy clubs will now be adding a little bit more security or just be a little bit more careful lest somebody pull, quote, a Will Smith.
Yeah, some clubs are great, and some clubs you're like, I am on my own. Where's the escape route?
Got my pepper spray. Can you imagine if Chris Rock pepper sprayed him on his way out?
That would have been amazing if he knew and just immediately just dropped him with a taser or that dog collar we talked about earlier. Went down.
That would teach him. Don't come up on stage when I'm hosting.
What a scary moment. Like Chris Rock's brain was working so hard trying to figure out and just understand this really happened and what this all means. Mm-hmm. You could just see that his brain was using so much power he couldn't even read.
Well, he was such a pro. I mean, he somehow managed to crack a joke and stand there with his dignity intact. But I couldn't help but feel that any man would be completely humiliated, would feel completely humiliated.
Yes, humiliated. And I think when he said, I could, he said something like that, like I could, and he stopped himself. My guess is he had a lot of Jada jokes loaded because you write a bunch of jokes and you go, that one's too mean, that one's too mean. I mean, the G.I. Jane joke, I know she has alopecia, but she's a gorgeous person, Jada, and she's been told her whole life. Demi Moore is gorgeous, and you're comparing a gorgeous person to a gorgeous person. It's not that harsh, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. I don't think, and if you see the video of Jada, there's another angle of her where she's still kind of laughing. She's really not. I don't know what's in her brain, but it didn't
But this is a good point. You're making the point that Will Smith might have been able to hurt Chris Rock physically, but Chris Rock has rhetorical gifts that Will Smith probably doesn't have in terms of quick comebacks, jokes in the pocket, ways to humiliate you back in a different way, and he didn't unleash them. I
think that's what he was doing when he said, I could, and then he stopped himself. But yeah, I felt really, I think a lot of people just felt really bad for Chris because it is humiliating.
Right.
When
it shouldn't be.
Bitch slaps you in front of a billion people.
Right. It shouldn't be. I think, obviously, had that been a woman, he never would have done it. And she wouldn't have been, quote, humiliated. Why is it humiliating for him? Because he's a man and we don't expect, men to take a punch or a slap without fighting back. But he was in this impossible position. He wasn't. If he had fought back, it would have been a true nightmare for everyone involved. Thank God he didn't. Yeah.
And I wonder if one of them was white. It would have probably gotten the talk would have been racial.
100%.
Would have made it more of a racial thing.
Unless the person who got slapped was white, in which case everyone would have ignored it.
Yeah.
100%.
I understand the Academy. I mean, when this thing happens, you need time to go process. And what do we do about this? I get not doing something right away, but I'm just curious what happens to Will Smith. There's also the problem where, okay, if you take his Oscar away, what do you do with Roman Polanski's? And you got to start to take away the other Harvey Weinstein. You got to take them all away, I think.
Agreed. Although their bad behavior wasn't at the Academy Awards, but still, there's going to be some sort of a punishment. I don't agree that it should be taking away the award. Hey, thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.